What is the craziest shit you saw?
We need to do it.
We're doing it.
Yeah. We did have some people who passed away, unfortunately, but like we would like. I thought I did have to be naked, but I did not.
Like below deck where they all fuck each other.
I mean,
you want to get messy, or you just want to get a little mocktail? You know, it's
This is Ryan Frankowski and
Kelly Mizgorski.
You are listening to Mocktails or
Messy.
We are excited to welcome to the studio Mr. Taylor Sokol. You are cool.
I'm self-proclaimed, I would say.
This is a connection through our Miss Messy over here, or Miss
Yeah,
Misty.
I'm claiming him today.
She got the connect. We got a podcaster in the podcast lounge today.
Kelly and I kind of reconnected. I've been loving podcast for a while. Like, I think going into podcasting, why I got into it was just because a friend of mine, we were like, hey, we like talking, let's just do a podcast. And then the pandemic happened, and here I am, 4 years later, still podcasting away. So I'm happy to be here, guys.
That's awesome. So we have a veteron here.
Yeah.
We
compared
cheers.
to us.
Yes,
Yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers,
So,
Taylor.
Taylor,
Yes.
what is this drink?
So this is a little shout out to Bourbon Country in Louisville, Kentucky. This is called, it's by many names, I believe either Sidecar, but also known as the Louisville Lip. And you have to say Louisville, not Louisville. If you say that in Louisville, they get really upset. But this is, so a shout out to Louisville. But this is simply bourbon, and we're actually using, looks like Larceny bourbon here, good choice, with lemon juice and honey.
I actually stole it out of my husband's liquor
Okay,
cabinet.
well, he's got good taste.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you can use kind of any bourbon with it. Buffalo Trace or Four Roses is also really good as well. But it's a very good summery drink. And
very
I like it
good.
because it's refreshing, but also dangerous because it is very sweet,
Yes.
very delicious. So, but yeah, this is our cocktail, not the mocktail version. Do we have a mocktail version as well?
I was gonna say, I really love your voice and like your energy. I want you to fucking talk about
He knows
the
what he's doing.
mocktail.
Oh, sure.
I'm mesmerized by you. I think I can tell that you've been doing this before.
Yeah.
I gave him $20 before doing this, so it was worth it. No, I
You're
appreciate
speaking
that.
my language too, and like about Kentucky and bourbon, and like also on top of it, like this is fucking good.
No, I'm glad you enjoy it. It's, what's funny?
This is even the mocktail.
That's the mocktail and you like it? That's really good. So we have here, this is Spiritless Kentucky 74, distilled non-alcoholic spirit for bourbon cocktails. Thank you. And did you hear the dollar sign? They just sent us a check. No, I'm glad. Well, and it's funny you say about mocktails because sometimes some mocktails don't taste like they taste too fake. My wife, her and I she had the baby. I was there. Do you love it when couples like, oh, we're pregnant? Like, no, the guy, you're not. She had the baby. She did all the work.
You had the fun, she did
whoever
the
actually
work.
pushing the baby out, they're doing the work. I just,
I mean, but you did procreate.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I helped out for a few minutes.
So you get 1%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll take it. She gets the 99.9%.
Right.
Honestly, I give her a lot of credit. That's why I bought her a nice handbag recently. So
Ooh, Louis Gucci.
A push gift, right?
No, yes, it was.
Was it a Louis?
It was a Coach purse.
Okay, yeah.
So I
You
don't
got
make
that.
that much money for the Vuitton yet.
Well, I was gonna say, shit. Should we come on your podcast
But I
if
will
you're
tell-
buying the Louis?
But I will tell you about, I think, having her go through pregnancy and her missing out on drinking. She likes to dabble. She likes to drink. The amount of mocktail options or alcoholic, non-alcoholic options is amazing these days.
Yeah.
Like the wines, as you said, the spirits, and it's not just, it's O'Doul's. It's literally all kinds of beer you can think of. Because she was trying like Peroni, non-alcoholic. They had a zero Peroni. They had a zero Heineken. So that was her like drink of choice.
I want you to give
It's
a little
good.
sample.
Yeah, it'd be like the blindfold test.
I'm literally like feeling buzzed.
And it's like got a good, this is like nice and smoky. I like that.
I think it's a
Okay,
good
Taylor,
refreshing
let's
one.
get into it. So, how do we know each other?
So fun fact. So Kelly and I graduated just a year apart. I met Kelly through where was her ex?
Originally, I guess my ex.
Yeah,
Oh,
original-
shit.
Yeah. And so we met separately, and then we met again through my roommate, our mutual acquaintance, college roommate of the last 2 years. You guys met through track, and
Yes.
so we met through the party scene because my roommate and I, we not to brag, but we threw some of the killer parties at Slippery Rock University.
Yeah,
so
so
shout
you
out
like
to the Rock there.
Always
So
the best party.
Yeah, like, are you like events guy or like a frat guy? Like what?
it's funny you say that. So I'm never a frat guy. I dabbled the parties and whatnot.
It was
sorority.
better than a frat. Better than a frat.
Yeah, it was because you could there was no there's no hazing, there's no entry fee, just come as you are. But no, I always. This kind of led into what I majored in. I always loved being a host. I always loved people to have a good time. So I ended up actually majoring in hospitality. It was called Resort Recreational Management and Tourism. It's different now.
They had that at Penn State as well.
Yeah. And so hospitality, I think, was always kind of my blood. So I loved organizing events. I loved just getting people together to have a good time. Like even like when I was first dating in college, because that was really kind of when I started dating. Because I traveled around. I lived in 3 different states by the time I got to college. So I was born in Maryland. Lived there till my freshman year of high school, then Ohio, and then moved my senior year of high school here in Pennsylvania. So it's kind of crazy. That kind of all transpired. So I love the idea when I went to college because that was the time to really kind of shine and do all kind of stuff like that. So
yeah, I was gonna say. So you guys partied hard. Yes. Was it a messy party or were there multiple messy parties?
Let's get right into the details.
Absolutely.
There's one that I remember, which was the Halloween party.
Yeah, we threw some awesome Halloween parties.
Was it anything but clothes? ABC?
No, it was whatever costume. No,
costume.
Yeah,
okay.
It was actually legit costumes. It wasn't like here's a trash bag, put some holes in it.
Yeah.
No, this was started as a tame party, but let's just say the drinks were flowing. We had a good time, and Kelly was definitely a big hit.
I'm an entertainer as well.
Yes, you were. You still are. You are now. That was the start of your many entertaining days.
So I was dressed as a cop, a sexy cop,
Somewhere.
trying to find some of you and I together, or one where you were in the same photo on Facebook, and I couldn't find one. But so I'm in the back. Was it your bedroom or Veneers?
Yeah, it was my bedroom.
I was in your bedroom.
Yeah, we weren't alone.
What?
But no, it was. I don't know how it happened, but a bunch of us gathered. So it was Veneer, my college roommate, myself, Kelly, and a couple other people, and there was this lesbian couple. And
cute.
Yeah. So I don't know how it happened, if one of us egged you on or something like that. And
I hope I didn't break them up.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. No. No, I think time broke them up, but they were still together for many years after that. So don't worry.
I didn't realize they were a couple, but
yeah,
okay.
No, that's okay.
Continue.
They both So somehow they're just like, hey, Kelly, why don't you flash the girls? Because obviously I'm gonna enjoy that, guys. But we have a multifaceted audience at the time,
right?
Yeah.
So you fly, and then literally one of the girls grabbed my shoulder and it was like, this is the best party ever. And I was like, you're welcome.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
So then it turned into more
inappropriate.
So I guess I flashed the girls, and
they were amazing, by the way. It was amazing view. So
thank you. It's not the same after the kids and the breastfeeding.
Kids, so time changes. So.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Every guy and girl just loves titties.
Yeah.
Gay guy, girl,
so
straight,
I think you
whatever.
were kind of like chauffeuring. They were like lined up out the door. You're chauffeuring them
I should have charged. I should have got
we should have made some money that night.
Because and then at one point you had given lap dance to one or two of them. So
with the computer chair. I was using your computer chair.
Yes.
They were sitting on the computer chair, and I was giving them a very extreme and X-rated lap dance.
Yeah. Now, were you
film
sober?
it?
No, I did not. This is the time before smartphones too. We had still junky phones,
right? Like the flips or
flip
the
ones,
sliders.
but the video is grainy and stuff. So unfortunately, there's none out there.
Damn it!
I know. It'll have to just live in our memories.
I was not sober. That's for sure.
I would safely assume, but I was just double checking. But that was my.
You never know.
I think that was the most, in a way, intimate, but memorable moment that we had together. And I think
for sure.
that was the first time we really interacted, because when I met you when you were dating your ex at the time, we hadn't really talked much. So it was funny, but
I remembered you because you were such a great conversationalist.
Yeah.
And you have this pep to you that you were just super memorable.
It's caffeine, but I even brought my Celsius. Market us. But no, I appreciate that. It was something, and we're talking about being a host. I always loved people coming over. So people, you're coming to our house, you're coming to our party. Of course, it's almost like some sort of car salesman or something, hey, you could go on to any party, but I'm glad you chose ours. I felt like that.
Aww.
But I love that. I tried to say hello to everybody.
Yeah.
Even as a college guy, I was like, hey, thanks for coming. And Because that meant a lot. Like, it's like you guys decided to come here, and I don't know. It's just something about that. And certain people, like, I still feel it now. Like, you gravitate to certain people. Like, you do find, like, genuine people. Like, you're awesome. Like, you'll see someone in a room, like, I want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you're awesome. I want to hang out with you.
Well, and I was even saying, no, I would never put you as cheesy's car salesman, because like you just have like a genuine authenticity to yourself.
I appreciate that.
And I also think you're just super excited about like what you're working on. Like, you're genuinely a happy dude.
It's a nervous energy, I would say.
Okay. Is it the caffeine nervous?
No, in a good way. Like, I would say, I was diagnosed with ADHD, so I probably still have it.
Do you take anything?
I don't. I probably should. It would help me focus a bit more.
Me too, but I'm not diagnosed.
Yeah,
I'm diagnosed.
Okay, yeah.
And she's popping it.
I'm popping that.
But I probably should. But I've always been very energetic, and I've always been wanting to be an entertainer. Like, I always wanted to make people laugh, feel good. So it's just continued to spill out in my life.
Oh, good.
But college, I feel like, was the time. Okay, because I was in 4 different high schools by the time I graduated.
Why?
Yeah. Why?
No. My dad, I got different job opportunities, so I moved a lot.
Nice.
And a lot of people like military, no, just sales opportunities and stuff. I'm the oldest of 4. So
he had to make that money.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think that was the kind of thing that, one, I kept kind of reinventing myself, because you had to I had to go to a new school, make new friends. But in college, I have 4 years where I can really figure myself out.
Yeah.
Stick it out.
Yeah, and
that experience probably made you the person you are to this day, like to have to reinvent yourself.
I can't imagine as a child having to move that many times. Like, my husband was military, so we've moved like 7 times in the last 10 years.
So that was a lot,
It was like reinventing, but like the military pays for you to move.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, I can't imagine like if it's just like
a
job.
Maybe your dad's sales job did pay him to move.
There were certain, some companies did, some companies didn't.
I just feel like it's harder outside of the military.
Well, that's crazy that like, so it must have been a financial thing to like keep moving, because I'm sure they didn't want to do that to you guys.
No, but, and again, a lot of it was a really good opportunity. I think one big thing, though, when we moved to Pennsylvania from Ohio, my one brother has autism. Okay. And when we moved to Ohio, we finally got a diagnosis that he had autism. Yeah. But Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh particularly has amazing services for special needs, autism. Yeah. So that was really, he went to Children's Institute in Squirrel Hill. So I think that was like the biggest thing for him, that he was able to get that. And he's amazing. He's like a gentle giant. He's 6'4".
Oh my God.
So he's my big little brother.
And how tall are you?
I'm about 6'1". I'm like teetering. Okay. So, but it's funny, like when stuff wouldn't fit him, I would get his hand me down, hand me up. So like, here, you know.
That's so funny.
But he's like just that big jolly giant. He's just such a good kid, and I think for him, it made me, that kind of influenced me as well, to be like appreciative and to be more patient. And I still have, that's one thing that I work on, is more patience, especially being married, and I'm a new dad recently, so that's been really cool.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that too. It's a big step, but it's so much fun. Right now, we should introduce your podcast.
So the first one, my buddy Chris and I, it's called the Potential Podcast. The reason why we called it that, because we couldn't think of a name, so it was just the Potential Podcast.
I love it.
I just stuck. It was a stupid
catchy
inside joke. And if you've heard the intro, it's very dramatic, and that's Chris doing the vocals, because he is a performer. He's based out in LA, and he actually he's working on being a full-fledged teacher, and he works at this place called Beetle House, LA. There's also one in New York. It's a Tim Burton themed cabaret.
Wow.
So he dresses up.
I have been.
He's lived in New York and LA.
Okay, you've been in the LA one?
Yes.
Okay, recently?
In the last... It was in 2019.
Okay,
so not
but when you go back, you have to go check him out. But he's done like Jack Skellington, Pee Wee Herman, like all this stuff.
Oh my God.
It's really awesome.
So he is like an actor.
Yeah, he was a singer, dancer, stage. Like before the pandemic, he was in Broadway trying to really do it. But now he's domestic life, but still doing this. And this has been a fun outlet for us. So we started this back in 2020, May. Just over 4 years now. We're in our 5th season, and what we do, basically, we'll have guests that are in the industry, so like actors, producers, directors, talking about promoting their work. Most recently, we had the villain from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We had Jonathan Freeman. That was Chukwudi and Iwuji. We had Jonathan Freeman, the voice of Jafar. We've had the deputy,
That's cool.
Jeff Teravainen from Thanksgiving, the Eli Roth horror film that came out last year.
Love a horror film.
Do I see you doing Liam Neeson?
No, so we because unfortunately my personal Instagram and our podcast one got hacked, we had to rebuild this up. So
how did you get the voice of Jafar?
So it started when we first did it. We were just having people like
Anybody who doesn't know, it's The Lion King. Or
yeah.
Wait, not The Lion King.
No, that actually came out 30 years ago. Are we feeling old?
Yes,
This
yes.
year.
Aladdin.
Aladdin. Yeah. So when we did, when we started, I had just literally just reached out because I knew some people in the industry, and so I just started reaching out. And then IMDb Pro, IMDb, right? So IMDb Pro, you can sign up for an account and you have access to contacts for publicists and whatnot like that. It's like a yearly fee. And I just reached out to PR companies and whatnot, and just said, hey, if you have anyone, and Jonathan Freeman, he was gracious enough to do it. We found him through Broadway Worlds. It's coming up that Aladdin was the 30th anniversary, and that's one of my favorite all-time Disney movies. Films.
I love it. I had a crush on Aladdin.
Yeah, and Jafar, man, one of the best villains.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he had like just one of the most maniacal laughs. So I think '90s was peak Disney. I'm just like, I know we're biased here because we're all '90s kids, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Dalmatians
and
Dalmatians.
101 Dalmatians.
That's the one that you.
I love it. I do love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But no, so we got him on there, and it's just kind of a dream to have some of these people on. We had Brad Payton. He was the director of the new J-Lo movie Atlas on Netflix.
Ooh.
And he's done San Andreas. He did Rampage. And really, it was just me, as you said, my personality. I just send emails and seeing what sticks. So.
Oh, yeah. It's just like shooting a bunch of darts and seeing which one's going to land on that bullseye.
And a lot of them, people have reached out to us, like their publicists and stuff, like, hey, this person's coming up. We'd love you to promote their work. My friend, Justin Ruppel, is a comedian, impressionist. Him and I, we were like, we should do a podcast together. And it's just us talking like friends, kind of like you guys.
Like, those do pretty good.
And I thought
the talking, just shooting the shit.
Yeah, and I thought let's just do something like that. And we like to make each other laugh. We talk about movies, more like us just being ourselves. My last name, as you said, Sokol, and his first name is Justin. So our podcast is called We're Just So Cool.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
so that is a play on words. Yeah,
so it hasn't come out yet, but by the time this airs, it should be coming out. In general, I love, again, this transcends. I love promoting people's work. Like I love promoting your podcast, and I love that's how we kind of connected.
Yeah, vice versa.
And that's how you need to do it in the industry. It's not about what you put out, it's who's watching.
Right.
Like, we really love this guy, No Filter with Zach, and he doesn't need any promotion. It's just we connect with him because we spar each other. He's like, what is this mocktail shit? I'm not going to pay 15. And so, like, we have so much fun with him, and we're like, we're going to prove you wrong. But then, Kelly
and then
is
he
a
loves
drinker.
stirring the pot, and so do I.
Yes.
Like, he's a great match for us as well.
I know. And you have like 3 podcasts, and you also worked on cruise ships, and then you've had like this wild career history, and you're only
34, just turned 34.
Happy birthday.
By the time this recorded, my
happy birthday
yesterday,
to Taylor.
So, yes.
So
my
Taylor,
God.
what is your messiest story? We talked about a messy story from me.
Yeah.
Do you have like a messiest story?
Oh yeah. What's the
Like
messiest?
that's you. What did you do?
I mean, I'm
That
sure
was
you have
messy.
a couple, but like, do you have one that comes to mind?
I would say it's tough because then it's like I have to. If you remember it, was it that messy?
Let's see.
So I will
if
say,
you remember a good point.
Yeah, so I will say ones that people were involved in. I'll tell 2. One, I think. I don't really remember how messy it got, but I remember at one point, and this is when I was we were at the same apartment. I remember coming back and waking up, and I had apparently picked up a traffic cone that had carried me the whole way. For some reason, I'm on the pull-out couch. My room, you know how the apartment was. My room's right there. I decided to pull out. It's just not an easy feat when you're sober.
Oh no!
And I'm there in my underwear, sleeping on there, where I just could have made it to my room. So that was one. And I think another one was during New Year's on cruise ships. Because if you're on a cruise ship, a New Year's party is the most insane thing ever.
Shit, we need to
should
do
we go
it.
that?
We're
doing it.
Yes.
You
ready?
got to tell us what cruise line.
Okay, gotcha.
Or you're gonna come with your wife.
Okay.
Yeah, let's all go together.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. If you're a guest on a ship, it's a lot of fun. But when you're a crew, they party hard. It's a fun time.
Yeah. What's your title on the cruise?
So when I started, I was cruise staff. So the people kind of run around, do the activities like bingo, whatnot. But I ended up becoming a cruise director. So I worked on 2 different cruise lines. I was on Celebrity and Holland America line.
And your background gave you that capability.
Yeah, so I went into hospitality, majored in college.
At Slippery Cock.
So yeah.
Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she always convinced. Anyways,
the more PG version, people call it Slimy Pebble. So
Yeah, I say that too,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I just can't help it. I always just say slippery.
That's
cock.
okay. That was.
Well, she's the cocktailer.
Yeah,
and I'm the
there you go.
mocktailer.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that's where it comes from.
What is the craziest shit you saw on the cruise ship?
Okay, so as a cruise director, I remember the one party we had this awesome open deck party, we were having a good time, and champagne's flowing, and
Oh, what kind?
I think it was just a kind of a generic kind of.
I love shams.
Yeah, and I'm like running around the dance floor, and that was my thing. Like I love dancing and just like acting like a complete idiot on the dance floor. So I think that's the one equalizer when it comes to dancing.
Yeah,
the crazier you are, the better, because no one's judging you. It was so crazy because this is probably one of the first parties that so many crew had come up. I had seen on deck because a lot of the crew like don't really mingle with the guests like in that sense, but like we had like cast, we had like it was like a crazy time, and also the waves were really rough, so stuff was kind of rocking around like. But we all went to the crew bar, and it was just kind of like it was kind of nuts because so we had that, and we're running around and drinks are flowing. I remember at one point one of the girls on there was like Happy New Year, and then she had this popper. You know, like the little sparkler, but she didn't realize it was gonna explode. So she like shot it, and it was like, oh shit! And literally had gold flicks over me. It was all in my drink. I have a picture floating somewhere. I'm like, just the recovery the next day because he would like partied up, but then the next morning you got to work together. So like Red Bull was people's friends, and like so.
Oh yeah, you like live on that shit when you have like such a short amount of sleep.
Yeah.
How many days do you have to work when you're on the cruise ship?
So so fun fact. So if you're cruise, see my cruise reps come out. Fun fact is I'll say a lot.
Oh, fun fact.
Yeah. So working on ships, depending on your position, you would be on a contract. So like starting out 4 months, 6 months, 8 months. First started was 6 months, but then I do 4 months. But when you work on the ship, you don't have a day off. You're like working.
Oh wait, like 6 months straight? Like if that's your contract?
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah. That's all cruises, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much all crew members. If you're like a higher position like captain, cruise director, hotel director, sometimes they're shorter.
Right.
Could it possibly be more than 8 hours a day?
Well, you're working the 70 plus hours a week.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you're like when I was a cruise director, say we're going into port, you want to be the first one up because you got to make the announcements. We would dock, I would go out and like welcome everybody for a good couple hours. Then we'd be running around doing stuff, and then people would come back to the ship. If I wanted to go off the ship, I'd go and do stuff. The problem was, do I take a nap or do I go explore? I did Alaska like maybe all summer. I always like to go out to get Wi-Fi or to talk to home or something. Or did like
they didn't have it on the ship.
You have to pay for Wi-Fi for your crew. Yeah, and then you come back, and then we have the events, like we have game shows if there, and then I have to introduce and outro the shows. So you have a comedian, you'll have a concert, you'll have a cast performance. So usually I was up like 6 or 7 in the morning, and I was not in bed till like probably 1 or 2 sometimes, because then you finish up the night, but then you're like, oh, I want to go to a crew bar because that's where everyone went there.
Yeah.
But
there's a crew bar.
So there's a crew bar. There's an actual bar where the crew would go and hang out, where there's like cheap drinks and stuff like that. Yeah, but I mean,
that's fun.
Liddy titty.
Yeah, and about to
Liddy
get lit up.
show those titties.
Cheers. If you didn't want to go there, you would like, oh, I'm just going to buy water. So you would go there to scan. What was the vibe? Because you want to go there like maybe there was just like a bunch of crew. Like, oh, there's one girl side there. All the guys are like, hey, what's up? So like, it's like it was a bad ratio. It always felt like there was 15 to 1 guys
Sausage
to girls.
Fest.
Yeah, so it was like
God.
like I'm going there to have fun.
Yeah, you're not going there to hunt.
No, but because also you live and work with people, so it's like
you don't want to shit where you eat.
If you have messy breakups, it's not like I can go home. Like at the end of the day, oh, I'm going to my house. No, I'm down the hall in the cabin.
So it's not like Below Deck where they all fuck each other.
I mean, it's not like, I think that's obviously a little heightened, but
like I've seen the show Below Deck. It seems like it's a fucking stressful job, but then they're like hoping that the tip.
Well, it's a little different. I mean, but my mom got into that show because I was on the ship. She's like, I'm checking this out. So there can be a little bit of that drama. I kind of stayed out of the drama, but I mean, I was more like the witness. I was like the fly on the wall sometimes, or I was like fanning the flames.
Yeah, you don't seem like a drama guy.
I try not to be, but
you've seen some shit.
I've seen some shit.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I mean,
she's prying, bro.
I know.
She's prying.
I will say, just seeing some of the stuff in this day and age where like I was saying like, oh, the guys like really trying to get with the girls. There were some aggressive women on the ships. I will say.
Yeah.
I remember one time we're sitting over here and this guy just sitting casually and he's trying to like hold himself up, and this dancer was just like, hey, what's up? And she was like, and she was like, and I remember walking past this one conversation where the girl was like, yeah, I love like giving hit and all this stuff like that, and she's like. And she was
hear some stuff.
It was just very like, I think what was funny about the ship, because you're almost like where you live and work, there is nothing like being on a cruise ship. I don't think people realize. And so I recommend everyone who's in college, if you're looking for a job, if you don't find something, apply for a ship. Because 1, you're going to work your ass off. And 2, there's nothing like it because you grow quickly. And that was always the joke, like with dating, like 1 month on ships is like 2 years on land. We always joke because you're like hanging out with that person so much. So we always joke it was like till gangway do us part. Because you think about it, you come on a ship, you meet someone, they live in a different country, their contract might end. You may never see them again, or you may hit it off and like, oh, I'm going to meet you in your respective country.
I'll see you in Europe.
Right.
Yeah. So being an American and dating girls from different countries, for me, that was kind of like, it was the rules of engagement were very different. Where especially if like English wasn't their first language, so like okay, that takes out 80% of my material. So like none of my impressions you're gonna get, none of my jokes. So I'm just down to a base level of who Taylor is. So like, but yeah, it was just.
And that would be hard because you're a comedian. Yeah. And like, you
self-proclaimed.
But is there not a morgue on the cruise ship?
I never saw one. I will never say.
Okay, morgue. I'm sorry. Is that where you dead people?
Well, certain cruise lines you have like older clientele. They're like,
God.
The average age might be 75. So,
what the fuck?
It can be. Well, think about it. These are like floating like retirement areas because like, you do. Like you have all this money and you have all this time in the world. Let's go cruise. And I will tell you one night, how many scooters I saw. We did have some people who passed away, unfortunately, but like we would like.
So they have to go to the morgue and ride it out until the cruise ship docks.
I don't think they would. I mean, like, don't quote me on this. I don't think they would put it like in the freezer where the food is, but there would be like an area there.
Oh my God, I would never think like. How did you know about?
I just heard that like the creepy fact about cruise ships is they all have a morgue on them because if somebody dies, they don't turn the cruise around.
Yeah,
they put them in the morgue.
Think about it, like you are on the sea. It could be like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
yeah. The longest I was at sea. 5 to 7 days because we did some transatlantic, trans-Pacific crossings.
Right.
So like we were in Alaska. The summer's only in Alaska, and then they reposition to like Asia. So we go over the Pacific.
Oh.
And one time though, I will say the longest I was stuck on ship.
Trip?
It's not bad. We're working all the time. And it's sea days, so it's entertaining guests nonstop.
Right.
So it can be a lot. It's not bad if you're going back because you get the hour backs. It's when you're coming forward and losing hours of sleep.
I was just thinking of the wind or the waves and the wind.
Yeah, 2 questions. Have you ever hit some crazy waves?
Okay.
And I want to know if you ever hit like an iceberg.
No,
like Titanic.
Yeah.
So it's been
such a blonde.
Yeah. No, that's okay. So no, there's
we have radar now.
Well, yeah, and it's not some Irish sailor up there. I can't say shit. Don't know why it is what it is. They're not there. You know.
What's that?
Yeah,
do you role play with your wife at that?
No.
That's kind of hot.
You maybe should.
Shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
damn.
No, never had any iceberg issues. Thankfully.
Sorry, that threw me, bro.
No, that's okay. Well,
that was good.
Well, I do.
You gotta be careful. He's bi.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, bi-curious.
Okay, very good. The drive-by guy.
Oh, you have a good memory.
I went on Instagram. I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
Do your research, folks.
Yes.
So no to the iceberg. But yeah, we've had like times where it was very rough, or like plates may have fallen or something like that. But it was never too bad
because it's a massive ship.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking the small ships is like 23, 2200, and then you got some of the bigger ones,
and you have the stabilizers
exactly.
too.
So the stabilizers.
I learned
you
some
see the crazy videos on TikTok of like the North Sea or whatever.
It can get rough, but I would say it was never too bad. Like I knock on wood, I never got seasick ever in 6 years. I just got used to it.
Okay.
I remember like walking, and I make the cruise director joke.
So some people can get seasick on a cruise ship? Okay.
I mean, there's some people, but I think most crew never really had that issue because I think you do get used to it.
Okay.
I mean...
Just take your ginger.
Yeah, ginger was like the main thing because it helps with digestion. So it was always ginger and seasick patches and stuff.
Right.
So, but yeah, never had an issue with that. So
being a cruise director, you have to put on so many different hats.
I think that's why I like doing accents, impressions, all that stuff like that because it was always I always like to shapeshift and stuff like that. But yeah, cruise directing in general, because it's such an interesting field, you are kind of like a little celebrity because you're the face of the ship. So if there's a problem, you have to solve it, even though it has nothing to do with you. Or they praise you when everything's good. So I don't know why I'm snapping at you. Sorry.
I love a snap. Well, just as long as you don't snap me in my face.
No, not at all. Keep below the eye line.
Yeah.
He's had a recent experience.
Okay, well, I apologize about that. I was like, hashtag triggered. So no.
You're funny.
I'm making fun of someone else, same voice. It's just my same character. But no, it's a very humbling experience because you have people who see you all day, and like there's one that's a comfortability. Like I'll be off in port. Like say I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go get a break from. I was in Costa Rica. I found like this little like hidden resort. You know, beers like 50 cents American. It was like, okay, great. So hanging out, going on, catching up with family and everything. Next thing you know, this German family like came out of nowhere. Like, how did they find me? You're like, oh, there's our cruise director. How you doing there? I'm like, how did you find me? It's like but you have to be on your best behavior because you're always working. So like we talked about, when you stop working, you don't, you know. And so that was like a fun challenge where you're kind of like a celebrity. Like you think about all these celebrities who put on a good face. It's tough where you can't just go. You've got to be, no matter what's going on here, you got to be. You know, because then we lived and died by the comment section. So like, oh, were the comments good over the cruise? So like, and I will tell you, some of the comments I got when I first started, I remember one, I think I have a screenshot of it, was someone's like, oh, the activity host, Taylor, nice guy, but little hyperactive. I think he'd be better, maybe he was on drugs. I don't know.
Oh, he's gotten accused of being on drugs too. So
yeah, it's like, sorry, we're high on life. You know,
I'm a caffeine guy too.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, you know,
and some of it wasn't caffeine, but
oh yeah.
No, so I was gonna say you're like a comedian. You're a wedding officiant.
Yes, that's a recent thing. Talk about many hats.
That's pretty cool.
So comedian, like I always wanted to be a comedian, but like you know, I did dabble in the cruise ships.
Like stand up?
Yes, but it was like a cruise show, so it wasn't like a main thing. But I got
cool.
10 minutes of like, can you make? How it worked is I was doing funny voices, and they were like, "Hey, we have a cruise show. Could you do something?" I think they were lacking on.
When you say a cruise show, like your crew.
So the crew on the ship would create a talent show and they perform for the guests.
That's cool.
And it was great because you had people who from Indonesia, Philippines, like you have the housekeeping staff, the chefs or cooks, anyone that maybe didn't get a chance to shine. And I will tell you, people in the Philippines, Indonesia, they have amazing voices. Isn't the guy who replaced the main singer of Journey? He's from the Philippines, I believe. But they have incredible voices. So they would get to perform. And it was kind of a cool thing that they got to do. So I had... So I got the opportunity to do that. So I never done that. At Slip Rock, actually, I did do open mic nights for fun. I did like 10 voices.
I never made it to those.
And they were in the...
Where did they do them?
They were in where Rockies used to be with the subs. It was down in that area, like past the quad. It was a student union. That's where it was. Okay. And so... I came up with this fun skit with a shout out to now cruise director Eddie Jenkins. So he'll have to listen to this. But him and he came up with a good 10-minute thing where I incorporated voices, but doing like a little stand up kind of thing. And it's really rough going back to it, but it was very humbling to kind of do it because I was in a tux, like very dramatic. I'm like dancing to Gangnam Style because that was the hit song. So you see me do it. That was so I'm up there like working it, and
I can see it.
And I was doing this fun like little bits like one thing I did was like everyone's cheering like I was like. Thank you both. Like little stupid like stuff like that. Yeah. But so that's been a fun thing. And then the efficient stuff, I was asked by my friend who I met, who did the podcast with, the potential podcast of 10 years or over 10 years now in ships. We met on my first contract together, and he wanted me to marry him and his now wife. And I asked him to do the same thing. So then I had done, by the time I did his wedding, I had done 2 weddings because my cousin-in-laws, they were like, I came about like, hey, I do wedding officiating. Yeah, could you do ours? So now I'm doing it as like a side hustle.
Sure, if I was getting married tomorrow, I'd have you do mine.
I appreciate that. Well, referral program works. So if you know anyone. And it's been a fun thing because now I can incorporate my cruise directing and my hospitality in something where not only is, I think, no offense to people who are groomsmen and best man or bridesmaids, maid of honor, but officiant is like, something about that is just I'm marrying you.
I actually have a question for you if you know the answer.
Okay.
So I got officiated 10 years ago. I've been married for 10 years.
Congratulations.
But I do want to say that they did spell our last name wrong.
Okay.
They spelled it with a Y at the end and not the I.
Yeah.
We still took it, did all the paperwork. Nobody questioned it.
Yeah.
But now I joke with my husband and I say, we might not actually be married because they didn't spell our name right.
Okay, well then if you needed me to re-officiate you,
what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like they would say something because it depends on where you go. Like every state's different, and I'm assuming every country, but I've done weddings in Florida, California, Ohio, and Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So it's very different, the licensing. Like when my wife and I got married, literally our officiant signed it, and that was it. And then other ones you have to fill out with your title. All that. It was like,
yeah, we did Pennsylvania, but we were in a rush. We were moving away because he was in the military, so we didn't have time to fix it.
Yeah.
And they just took it, so we went with it. But I'm like,
I feel like if there was an issue, they would have told you. Where did you guys get married? What states? Do you know?
Pennsylvania. Here in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah. I think you're good, but that,
Okay.
He said that's to keep us up at night.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might need to get re-officiated. Yeah, maybe that'll be another episode.
Oh my God.
We'll do it on the episode.
Yes.
But yeah, no, the officiating thing has been a fun thing because now.
Did you do the worldchurch.com?
No, it's Universal Life. Yeah, Universal Life Ministries. Yeah. So, and that was very simple, but it's really cool because they have scripts you can templates and stuff, and you can do everything. You can do renewal of vows, funeral, everything. And I didn't realize this until a year after I had it, that you actually can make a profile so people can find you. And actually, someone found me recently, so I have a wedding coming up that they found my profile. So I'm like, and I charge very little because I'm like, it's not a lot, and I'm like, unless it's out of state or I have to drive far.
Like $300 for ours.
I do like $250, unless it's like you're more than an hour away or if you're out of state, or if it's friends and family. Of course, I'm gonna hook you up. So
yeah, I did my brother's wedding, and I will say, it was stressful.
I didn't know you were officiant.
I did, but I'm not taking that away. I feel like
everyone can officiate this. I mean, but not everyone can. I mean,
you can't. I stutter too much.
You can be an officiant, but not everyone can officiate. I feel like because it can be a lot.
So I did it, but I will say it was stressful. For me, I was as much as I love to be maybe a host and all that, I was this is a new level because this is such an important day for people.
It can be, but I think also because that's a good thing because you want it to go well.
Yeah.
So you put that pressure on yourself. Same with me. That's why I'm
so you feel that?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's also an excitement. I just learned that I have to just take my time because I will say the one I had done recently, God bless this couple, they're so nice. I had the script. It was the first time I did one where they have to repeat after me. Everyone else did their own vows, where I said, do you take this person? I do. Mm-hmm. I never repeated. And then this one, I should have edited it, but I was like, do you so-and-so take blank to be your wife? And I told to the wife, to her husband, and said, take him to be his wife. And she still repeated it. And she looked at me and everyone laughed, but I was like, and then I just recovered. I was like, let's do that again, correctly and professional. And then later I apologized. She's like, no. I thought it was on purpose. It was actually great because I was stressed out. So it was okay to mess that up a little bit because it's a serious time. People take it way too seriously. Sometimes the people that aren't getting married are the more stressful ones. The bride is less stressed. I was at a wedding recently. It was my family, and everyone was more stressed than the bride and groom. And I was like, come on.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it should be. They should take the stress off them.
It's their day.
Now, Taylor, there's one thing I don't want to run out of time for.
No, that's right.
It is for impressions.
But there's a couple I do well. But whatever you want me to do, sure.
Is there one that you can't do?
You're a champ.
I want to work at doing more, but I feel like I can do a solid 30, 40.
Okay, do you need to clear your throat, gargle some water?
We have some water for you.
There is a water bottle.
Oh, here, I'll do that too.
Look at you.
Yeah, let's get that.
Mocktails are messy. We keep you hydrated.
Yes, mocktails or messy. He's getting messy today.
No muss, no fuss.
Matthew McConaughey. Wait.
Matthew McConaughey.
Do you want me to just
Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
Mocktails are messy is a great podcast where it's do you want to get messy or you just want to get a little mocktail? It's what is this? We're on a podcast. It's crazy because I'm you're over here and I'm there, and it's surreal, and I just gotta say all right.
Even your fucking mouth, it's
I know, your mouth changes.
It's something and that's why I've learned you have to get the facial thing. So
yeah,
Okay.
that was good.
Tell
dude.
me when you're ready for the next one.
I'm ready.
Seth Rogen.
All right. It's crazy. I love being on this podcast. I prefer weed. But I really like being here. It's great.
That was really fucking good.
Even better.
Okay.
I mean, seriously.
And then these are my 3 favorites that you do. Scooby Doo.
Okay.
Oh, Scooby Dooby.
Okay. Oh, Rotters or Ressie.
Okay.
Does your wife like that one?
I don't do that one enough. I don't do that one enough. There's a couple that she doesn't like that I do, so I will say that. So I have to get them out other ones.
But I feel like sometimes when you're the significant other, they're okay, enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I have 2 more that I love, and then if you want to do an extra one, you can. Okay.
Sure.
SpongeBob.
Okay.
This is hard.
All right.
I know this is a lot.
Oh, the great. Gonna mocktails are messy. Mocktails messy. Mocktails messy. Da 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 da. Mocktails. Oh, Patrick.
I'm like reliving my childhood right now.
I know, right?
Just brought you back.
Nick.
Okay, and this one's my favorite that you do.
Okay.
Chewbacca.
Okay. Chewbacca talking about the podcast. Sorry, I can't take a break with that one.
He was
Too much
talking about
bourbon.
it.
Yeah.
We just can't understand him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's Chewbacca.
Yeah, we'll put
bourbon.
subtitles in there for that.
Yes!
There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh
That
my
was
god.
That'll hurt right
You
here or something.
are fucking
Yeah,
good,
that was
dude.
great.
Are you do voiceover?
I've done a little audiobook through Amazon's Audible.
That's awesome.
But I haven't done enough. Like my dream job would be love to do voiceover work.
Yeah.
Like that's what we talked about earlier. Where Jafar and Aladdin, like obviously it's everyone's, but for me, Robin Williams is the ultimate
Right.
Like Genie was the fact that he could do all these characters and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I love impressions
Robin
and stuff
Williams
is fun.
is a very sore subject.
Oh yeah.
She's in love with him.
Listen, I talk about how impactful. I still remember where I was when I found out he passed away.
Yeah.
Literally 5 people texted me because and I'll do this one because you
Yeah.
appreciate this. I do a really good Mrs. Doubtfire.
Ooh.
And so people knew I did that. And so they were like, are you okay? And it was really
I
touching.
think
But I
in
remember,
honor of him, you've got to do it.
yeah, because it's, you know what's crazy? Because it was 2014 and this is 10 years. since it's
10
passed.
years.
Yeah. Since this
What the
Wow.
fudge?
It
Yeah.
feels like yesterday.
It does. But this is one of my favorite one is him doing Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, hello, dear. Doubtfire here. I'm on mocktails are messy, dear. I prefer messy, dear, but I clean up here because I'm a hip-hop, bebop, hip-hop, dance to your drop. Yo, make a cup of cocoa. Hold the bourbon, dear.
Hold the bourbon, dear.
That's one of my favorites. And I don't know why. It's just one I can really do. And then I'll do one more that I love doing that my wife hates. Is my Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Well, why? Okay. So why does she hate this one?
She just doesn't like it's not me. It's not me. It's you. No, it's the voice annoys her, like the character.
That happens.
Yeah,
That
so
happens.
it's Christopher Walken because everyone does him, but that was one that it was the first time I did it was in college because I was doing it for fun. But it's like, wow, it's crazy on this podcast. Drinking should be illegal. It's nuts. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. So that was just one that,
I could see why it annoys her.
yeah, there you go.
Like I can't.
Well, it's just
See,
the
you're getting
voice
along already.
itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the voice.
It's just, it's
just
one of
that
those
person.
But that's why Seth Rogen and stuff like that is ones that haven't been done enough. I want to get better.
No,
Jay
you're like
Baruchel.
A+. It's a.
You know
that's
Jay
that.
Baruchel? He's done he was in How to Train Your Dragon. He was in This Is the End.
I do.
Knocked Up. He's like,
I do.
Hey, yeah, it's crazy. We're hanging out with my friend Seth Rogen. We're going to get some burgers and smoke a little weed,
So,
Oh shit. Yeah,
and he's just like Norm Macdonald because he's Canadian, but he's just like, oh yeah, whoa, it's great here. But he's like, oh yeah, it's great here, Or it's like Adam Sandler, and that's the fun thing about voices. If you can do one voice,
oh my
you
god,
can do other
you do
ones.
Adam Sandler? Because
Yeah.
he's one of my favorites.
I can try. I've been working on that one.
We
So
can edit
She
it out if you
literally
like
gets
it.
wet
We're gonna
thinking about him.
Oh yes. He's got, think about Adam Sandler. He's got a Boston accent. Yeah. It's good to be here. The Sandman. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But Rob Schneider and great.
A little higher pitch, just a little bit. Your voice is deeper than his.
It is. But he's just like
That was really good.
Thank you.
Boston? I didn't know he was.
He is. He's New England. So yeah.
He ran into him
So, yeah.
in L.A. and got a picture with
One
him.
of the nicest guys ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm working on that one. I can do it, but I want it because he does have a little bit higher.
The Billy Madison voice that is the best, I think.
Hot, want to touch the honey.
Yes.
Yeah. Ow! He's like, that Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace. I know from experience, dude.
Okay, I don't know the difference between you and him now.
Okay, that was Chris Farley.
was good.
That's Chris Farley. Because remember the
Wow,
bus
I'm
driver?
Stupid.
That's okay. That's Chris
I just
Farley.
remember it from the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Tommy Boy, fat guy, a little cold.
That was Chris Farley. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, you're very good at
I
Chris
just quote
Farley.
movies so much that I inhabit those characters. So
Yeah.
You know what? You
Like,
would get along with Bry.
here's a random one for you.
But then again, you're younger because he does the same thing you do,
yeah.
but he's like 48.
Here's one random one, like Willy Wonka, Grandpa Joe.
Oh, please.
This is my favorite one. Look at me, hopping about. I haven't stepped this foot in 20 years. I just love that when he does it. So little things like that. Like I find like the micro impressions, like just like you could say that one, like, or like laughs. Laughs and sneezes are like the funny. Like,
wait, can you do an impersonation of him?
I haven't spent enough time with him.
An impersonation.
I haven't done it.
Don't you hear his voice?
I think I've been a little bit more intrigued. I haven't been talking. I like him. And
I know.
I'm
we're
inspired.
Oh
to
no,
get,
he's
like,
he's
I
gathering
feel like
information.
you more. I could do your attitude. Like that's crazy, man. Like I like how you get into that. I just don't know.
Everybody thought I
The
was
attitude.
a pothead.
Well,
And
you
I
have a
was
very
never-
laid back hair, and I must say I'm jealous of your hair because you have awesome hair.
Well, thank
That's why
you.
I'm wearing, that's
I
why
know,
I'm
look
wearing
at
a
this
hat because
stuff.
I wish I could do those locks.
You're so sweet, but literally, like, I prefer to buzz it. It's just she was making me grow
Especially
it
in the
out.
summer. If you're
I
in
know.
LA, that's crazy. But
Yeah,
no,
well,
I appreciate
actually,
Libby.
LA is not as fucking hot.
Well, you don't have
because of that.
not humidity. It's the dry heat. So.
You're right. You're right.
But no, I love doing the impressions and stuff like that. So I appreciate let me kind of showcase that
I
on here.
love
So
it.
That was great. We're
literally,
gonna have
if you
to
ever,
like
if
cut
you just
it
want me
and
to
put it
come
together.
on and do impressions, I'll just like
we would
I'll
love
call
to
in.
do that.
Well, we're gonna need to do a part 2 because
Yes.
we're out of time.
Yes, we are.
Somehow.
Well, one thing I want to ask real quick. Tell me the crazy cruise, like the ones that you were talking about before.
Okay, yes. So
What the
I know you
fuck?
appreciate this. Okay,
because
so
I'm like, we had a nude thing last time. We were talking
Okay.
about
The
nude yoga.
nude, yeah. Yes, we gotta
okay,
hear
so
the
I'll
nude
tell you
stuff.
one fun thing that I
what
did not
the
realize
hell?
that cruise ships would do
Did
until
you
I
have
worked
to be
with them.
nude?
I did not. Okay.
Okay.
So fun fact.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow crew members.
No, I thought I did have to be naked, but I did not. So on cruise ships,
That
they
would
do
be
these things
fucking
called
nuts.
charters, where they basically a company will charter the whole charter the whole ship out. So usually have normal guests that can like you and I. You know, not normal. We're weird, but I love that.
Right.
But they have a company will do it. So we had different ones.
Well, wait,
One was
so why would they be oddballs?
no. I'm saying like no, not that we're. It's like normal, but we're not normal. We're weird because that's a good thing.
Yes, it
Nobody wants
is.
to be normal.
Nobody likes norm.
So like we're an average Joe or Jane. You know,
Yeah.
I'm inclusive. Average
Yes.
Joes, Janes.
Yes.
But no. So a normal like cruise, and you can go on there. But they have these charter cruises where a company will buy them out.
Oh yeah.
So I've been on many ones. Soul Train, which was like the '70s kind of Motown stuff, and
Right.
I had Flower Power. You know, we had all that, and then there was 2 of them. One
and
was
there's like a Kid Rock one, right?
yeah, anything. They're like there's a nerd one called
he
Joko.
already know.
Yeah, Jonathan Colton.
Uh-huh.
The 2 that was most significant was a new cruise called Bare Necessities. So BARE. And
For the
Bare
bare
necessities,
necessities,
the
simple bare necessities. So I heard there was gonna be a nude cruise, and I was like, okay, so number 1, do I have to be naked? No. Okay, cool. Secondly, this is not the people that you necessarily wanted to see naked. No offense, those people.
Yes.
As a young guy, I was like, it wasn't people my age.
Right.
So, but it was good because it was a cruise where people could just be free and
Yes.
let it all hang out, literally. So one of the tasks I did on ships was I would host these modern line dances. So I would teach dance. It was stupid. It wasn't like traditional line dance, square dancing. It was like I'll if you want, I'll get video of it, but not of the nude, but of the dances. Sorry to disappoint.
Oh darn!
So, but we had one where I would do these line dances. So I would like, okay, so everyone's getting behind me. So I wore sunglasses every time I was on top deck because I was like, I don't want to like my eyes to drift. I don't see anything. So 2 instances. One, I'm like, okay, we had to change the line dances. So usually I'd be like, okay, shimmy, nope. Okay, we're gonna put our arms in the air.
Oh my god!
And we're not gonna move our hips. We're gonna go. And then what happened was we did this crew. We had crew volleyball, like officers versus guests. So they get in there. I just set up the nets, and I'm like, it's all sunny out there. All of a sudden, the sun disappears, and I'm like, okay, everyone needs to back up.
Right.
If I can put my hands out, I'm touching something. So I will just say, everything was naked, and it was very enlightening experience. The one thing is they had to sit on towels like for theater or something like that.
I was gonna ask.
Oh,
But
I hope so.
But they worked out naked, which I think is weird because
Wow.
because sweat's just dripping. There's nothing to contain it. So yeah, that was an interesting
Another
cruise.
weird thing. Yeah.
And then the other one I did was Atlantis Charter, an all gay cruise. Which
fun.
I will tell you, the coolest thing about that, I don't care what you identify as, but
they're fun.
you can enjoy that kind of cruise because there's a difference between going on a vacation and going to party.
I love
Atlantis,
the gay culture.
I'll just say the white party, the white out party.
Yeah.
Literally everyone's wearing white. You got angel wings. And I will tell you, I walked around anything goes on those cruises. I didn't see everything, but I will tell you, one time I turned a corner and I was like, oh, that should be done in the bedroom. Let's just say that.
Do you have to be gay to go on it?
I would think so.
So I can't go as his friend.
You probably could. No, honestly, you could. It's not
There
like,
was any girls there?
Yeah, I mean, they would probably identify as lesbian.
Yeah.
But no, and I think you'd be fine. It's not like they have a card like, are you gay? Is like, tell me your sex history. No.
Okay.
No, so you could go as a guest. But I mean, Atlantis Charter was awesome.
Might have to do it.
And I have to leave this story because it was really fun. There was a drag queen called Dixie Longate. So yeah, Dixie Long, and so the persona is this Southern woman, and they're like, "You're gonna host the bingo with Dixie." So Dixie's calling, and I'm just the bingo boy, and literally Dixie's coming and harass me, and like, "Hey, how's it going?" And like hands on her shoulder, and like and got a sippy cup of like a margarita, and like kept like wanting to like, "Here, do you want to sip some of this?" Yeah, and so I'm like sipping on this, and then like was teasing me like, so how'd you become a bingo? Do you have bingo classes? It's like, no, I went to school for this. Oh, did you take like bingo? I was like, she's like, what's the hardest thing you ever taken? I was like, CPR. I don't know. And literally CPR. And all of a sudden I have a whole crowd of gay men going, CPR, CPR. Because literally Dixie laid down, legs there like, okay. So yeah.
They love
and
that.
I'm just like, and I was like, this young buck out of college,
Yeah.
And you're probably getting the guys after you, like being like a little.
And Dixie is amazing, which I told her on the podcast, so she'll have to come on.
Oh my god!
But and she actually had a show here. It's called Dixie's Tupperware Party. So it's like the classic. No! Yeah, it's like this whole
invite me next time.
I will.
That's so
but
cool.
That was like the most
party.
legit like things of those cruises. But they also do swingers cruises. I never did that.
Oh,
so that's interesting. But yeah, the gay charter Atlantis is
maybe
the best thing ever.
Kelly and Ryan will do the swingers.
No, we don't. Okay, I'm like crazy, but I don't swing.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
not
just
yet.
say that.
She's
Not
a crazy but respectable mother.
And
yes,
maybe
I'm a mother.
And
I'm
Taylor
a
would
crazy,
never
respectable
do that.
father. Yeah.
Taylor would
Okay,
never do
this
days are behind
was
me.
too much fun.
Round 2.
Yes. Thank you for listening to Mocktails Are Messy. This is Taylor Sokol.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Sorry,
for the
I went to
entertainment.
Wikipedia search. I'm going all over.
Oh,
so.
no,
Well, this is crazy, right?